Boy, you make me wanna sing.
I'm still smoking, eye pouring up, making younger. Old school, straight pro, make them get down on the floor. I'ma keep it gangster with you. I'ma beat it up. Pay your daddy well.
Hey guys, I'm Shantastic and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, in my previous video, I touched a little bit upon Sherra Wright and her accomplices in the Lorenzen Wright murder case. In this video, I'm going to touch a little bit more on Sherra, but also her ex. Not her ex in California, who's the music producer, but her ex, Kelvin Cowans. Now, it's been said publicly that Sherra Wright is 47 years old. She met Lorenzen when he was a senior in high school, and her father, Julius, was his basketball coach at the time. It was said she was reportedly dating singer Isaac Hayes when she met Lorenzen, and they just clicked. Now, Sherra and Lorenzen got married young, but after his retirement from the NBA, their marriage pretty much dissolved. They had rough times, but in 2003, things got a little worse when their 11-month-old Sherra died of SIDS. Now, SIDS is also known as crib death. Sherra said she didn't think Lorenzen Wright would recover from their daughter's death. They were off and on in their marriage until finally they divorced in February of 2010, and this is 4 months before his murder. Lorenzen was ordered to pay $26,000 in child support payments, but he often fell behind. They had 6 children: Lorenzen Jr., Lauren, Lamar, and Shamar, who were twins, Lawson, and Sophia. After Lorenzen's death, his personal assistant, Wendy Wilson, told police to look into his ex-wife, Sherra Wright. She claimed to have recordings of Sherra threatening Lorenzen if she caught him with another woman again. The tapes were turned over to Memphis police and Sherra was questioned, but she was never arrested. Lorenzen was living in Atlanta and it was rumored he'd moved on with his life. Wright was dating the beautiful Alexis Bradley at the time of his death. He had been going back and forth between Memphis, where his children lived, and Atlanta. Alexis posted some intimate photos of her and Lorenzen's last moments together. He was visiting in Memphis when he disappeared. Post Lorenzen's death, Sherra gave an interview to Kelvin, who was a freelancer for the new Tri-State Defender in Memphis, Tennessee. They had a 2-year romantic relationship in which they moved from Memphis to Houston, Texas. It is rumored that when Sherra left Kelvin, she took everything he had, including his dog. The last time he spoke with Sherra was December 2017. Kelvin said he was preparing to go celebrate with a friend and his phone rang. It was Sherra calling from California again. He said earlier that day she called to tell him a local news reporter, April Thompson, was trying to get an exclusive from her. She told April she had a connection at the new Tri-State Defender and she would speak through this person if she had anything to say. Kelvin said that Sherra gave him 3 reasons why she would not speak with April. He told her it was a bad idea that she didn't. Kelvin was actually the person who told her to do the interview with Fox Sports and suggested she promote her book while doing so. Here's a clip of Kelvin on the Dr. Oz show.
NBA star Lorenzen Wright was murdered 8 years ago, and his ex-wife Sherra was just arrested this year. During the year she was free, she dated Kelvin Cowans. He's here sharing never-before-heard audio of Sherra grieving Lorenzen's death. Listen to this.
I apologize. This is my last question. Okay. One day, we're going to turn the TV on. It's going to say breaking news. It's going to say arrest and Lorenzen Wright. Thank you, Jesus. Will your name be up there? No. You won't be in the handcuffs? No. You won't be in the car? No. You're not going to break our heart?
No. That was audio from Kelvin's 2015 interview with Sherra before they started dating. So you sit here and listen to that audio tape. Do you think she was lying? Did you suspect she was lying?
At that time, I did not. At that time, no one could have convinced me that she was lying about anything that had anything to do with this murder.
When she was dating you, were there periods where her behavior was odd, where, just looking back in retrospect, you might have suspected something was happening?
Yes, we had a master closet, a fairly big master closet in 2-3 nights out of the week, Sherra would get her pillow, blanket, and go in our closet and pray and cry. And she'd do this from like 9 p.m. to like 2 or 3 in the morning. There will be times where I have to go in there and say, hey, come on, it's time to go to bed. Now, you have to understand that I'm thinking that I'm looking at grief, because like anyone else, I've lost someone that I really care about. But I've never lost anyone who was with me 30 minutes prior or 45 minutes prior. And so I thought her grief level was higher because of that. But often she would do that. And then there were the nightmares, of course. Later, I look back on the nightmares, and she never really wanted to talk about them except for one particular time. And I said, what happened? She said, well, we were back in Memphis, and we were in my old neighborhood, and he called out to me. He said, Sherra, come here. And she said, well, what do you want, Lorenzen? And he said, come here. You know I love you. She said, well, what do you want, Lorenzen? And he said, get over here. And he turned into dust as he reached out for her. And so I didn't know what to do with that nightmare.
You think it was guilt more than grief?
Looking back on it now, I can tell that she was battling with a lot of guilt. And one thing I've learned, Dr. Oz, is that grief is no indication of innocence.
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to click like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because I'll have more commentary on this story soon.